So yeah, welcome everybody. My name's Harry Dalton. I am a marketer through and through. I kicked. Oh, there you go. Cool. I kicked off my career in digital marketing. I fell in love with Meta Ads Manager, funnels, pulling people through, nurturing. Someone knows nothing about you to becoming a devoted, loyal customer. And the sort of combination of the art of it and then the business side and finding that mix, it just totally ticked all the boxes for me. So today I'm going to talk about Emotion Island. Basically, I wanted to put something in there that was a bit mysterious to get people to come. But what I'm going to talk about is how we've got stuck going for conversions, going straight for the jugular, trying to make a sale, and we've forgotten how to pull people through from a nurturing way, and how if you don't start doing it now, the businesses aren't going to last. So as I go through my speech, my kōrero, there's something I want you to think about. And so I studied marketing at Victoria University, did a major in marketing. My other major was international business, which essentially is cultural studies. And so this is one of the fundamental theories of that. And this helps explain life, and life is marketing. Culture affects attitude, and then attitude affects behavior. As a marketer, that's all you need to know. That needs to go on the wall, and you just remember that. So that's what's going to be coming through today. Click behind the academy. So I started in a marketing agency 3 years ago, so pretty fresh. Basically, I had $40 on my account. I had to fix my car, bloody BMW, and I went, all right, I have to do my own thing. And luckily with digital marketing, the cool thing about that is you can get a retainer and you're like, cool, that's $1,500 or $2,000 a month. And so I took a $4,000 loan out, 2 off my brother and, oh no, 4 off my brother. Got a website and branding done for $2,000 and then $2,000 on a laptop and just went from there. So we are, there's a little lag. So we're a hybrid agency, and it's a term I sort of started, and hybrid's not unique to us, but it's a term I started throwing around a couple of years ago as our point of difference. And it's really stuck. So we're at, in my opinion, the end of the era of a specialized digital marketing agency. We had a really good run. Digital marketing agencies did it really well. And people got really used to the specialization. Oh, I need to go with a specialist digital agency because they're the best. And then I'll go with a specialist creative agency because they're the best. And combined, it's going to compound. But actually what you see is these people need to be in the same room. And when you do combine them, unless you're an epic person in between, you actually don't get the results of 1 + 1 = 2. You get 1 + 1 is 1.5. So we offer both, and we bring it all together. So I started with digital marketing, as I said, good little earner, Bunsen burner. Then we added on social. We would get these clients coming in and saying, oh, I need you to run some ads for me. And being a marketing person, I'm like, oh, well, you've got no e-commerce. There's no way to do this. You've got a tiny budget. If I run ads for you, you're not going to know what it did. Let's get the socials going, or let's get some PR going. So I thought, well, if you're going to pay me, I'll do it, and we started doing that too. And then we added in content because that was the other missing piece. I was briefing these, as still pretty much a digital agency at this stage, briefing these creative agencies or briefing the client, we need this, we need this, we need this. We weren't getting what we needed. So now we do that. And what underpins it all is brand strategy. So why do I have the authority to talk to you here? 3 years as an agency, pretty fresh, but we've already worked some pretty big brands. Quicksilver, we helped launch a collaboration between Māori Surfer and them, and did all the PR, and it went well. Clothing was pretty much our first client. I'll go into them a little bit later, but they're sort of the new big brand that everyone's wearing. Barker's clothing, Barker's men's clothing. You might recognize me because I also play talent in their content there, way to get the job, free talent. Stolen Girlfriends Club, we've been with them for 4 years, and then Otis Oat Milk and a few others. But we attract really awesome brands because what we do isn't just the digital marketing, it's everything. So just a nice little badge of honor for us. Clothing came to me September 2020. They were doing 200K a year. Pretty much half of that was just COVID, working from home. They sold hoodies and trackies. So they did well. And over the last 3 years, we've scaled them up to $10 million. That's no investment, no big budgets, just absolute, utter resourcefulness and marketing strategy. So this is how we did it. And this is what my whole thing is. It's a 60-40 model. Spend 60% of your budget on brand and 40% on media. I actually almost want to go 70-30, but I think 60-40 is a good sort of round one. And so when I say brand, I mean creating videos, PR, events, anything that feels cool, it could be brand. You don't need to be totally strategic, just do something. And then the other 40 goes into media. Now you only need 40 because the brand triples your return on investment when you spend that. So what we did with is they sell hoodies. What a lot of brands are doing would do now with any product or service, they go straight, hey, this is our product, these are the features, this is the price, this is what it's going to get you. But we didn't do any of that. Not at all. We targeted, this is their byline. I came up with it one day. I was like, we should just put the values as the byline. And he's an awesome guy. He's like, yeah, let's do it. Now it's over everything. So the brand stood for confidence, comfort, that's the product one, and community. And all we targeted was confidence and community. So in all our shoots, there's a little tactic here. We never shoot solo people. We always have 3 or 4 in one. Every time, that's community. And confidence. We had low angle shots, chin up. I'm feeling good in this. And that was consistent throughout. So that's us, and that's why I can talk about what I'm talking about. But I just want to talk about where we're at today in the digital marketing sphere. But just so I can kind of tailor it a little bit, I want to see kind of the range and scope. So put your hand up if you are a digital marketer, ads manager, Google ads, all of that stuff. That's a bit of you. Cool. Couple techies. Nice. Love it. ROAS. Cool. So is everyone else here sort of more in the general marketing or sort of executive position, things like that? Cool. So greed. That's where we're at. Digital marketing gives you the ability to go straight for the jugular, make a sale, short-term gains, guaranteed over the next 30 days what we could do. And that is amazing. But if you don't control it, you're going to stop making money. So what people are doing is 80-20. They're spending 80% on media, 20% on content. They're thrashing the same stuff over and over and over. And look, that's okay. And it's worked for a while. But now there's competitors who are building much better brands than the people doing this. They're doing the 60-40. So the switch, it's not that doesn't work, it's that people are now out competing it. They've worked it out. Some are even doing 90-10. They might say you had $1 million, or say $100,000 marketing budget, 90,000 is going on ads and 10,000 on one video that you have to try to use for a year. As opposed to someone that's gone 60,000 on content and videos, that's 10 grand every 2 months. Cool, fresh. And they only need 20 grand on the ads, but they're going to make much more money. So a little bit of a history thing with digital marketing. iOS 14, if that makes you hurt inside, raise your hand. If that had a big impact on you, because it was huge. Yeah, so when iOS 14 came about, my mum's here in the corner, by the way, so I'll just explain this for you, Mum. When iOS 14 came out, basically Apple stopped Meta, let's just stick to Meta, from taking too much data, right? And so before that, we had so much data, it was scary. I remember being in the thick of it in my campaigns and thinking, I wonder, because I can make a sale, I can just throw it out, boom, sale. It was so easy. So easy. And I remember thinking to myself, I wonder if this is going to be like the good old days. Am I in the good old days? You know? But it was weird. And so what I think happened is we forgot. We forgot how to market. We forgot how to nurture someone through. I remember top of funnel purchase optimize, if that means something to anyone. I remember you would never really get away with that, throwing out to a cold audience to buy something. And it was working. I was like, what? But before all that, it was a bit more difficult. You did have to pull people through. I don't know what we're going to call that era, but pre conversion optimization. And this is super techy, but what conversion optimization is, and someone can prove me wrong, but pretty much what it is it can tell what you've bought in the last 2 years. So it makes out like it's finding the perfect customer for you. But really what it's doing is it's finding people that get their card out all the time. Is that coming through all good? Right. It's finding people that spend cash. So it's really just getting in front of spenders, not necessarily the perfect person. So it's false because that person there is impulsive and less likely to become a loyal customer. So you're probably going to have to pay to get them to make the second sale as well, if you know what I mean. So that was before. Then we forgot. Now we're in a recession, and it's even harder again. And we're not even marketing properly. So what we're seeing now is digital is the hardest it's ever been. It is really difficult. As digital agencies are scrambling, they can't get the results they want for their clients, and it's freaky. This is what we're going through is in my industry, a shake-up period. All the strong will survive, and that's because they're doing the 80-20 and they're not fetching out to pull in new customers. So this is the next part. That's the state of where we're at. Now, my whole thing in this is I just want to change your attitude about how you look at marketing. That's it. I'm not giving you any real key takeaways. I just want to change how you look at it. And this is something we have on our wall and I use it all the time. It's the brand adoption lifecycle. So I think this is actually called product adoption lifecycle, and it's a tech thing, and it's about how users adopt your features and things like that. But I just use it for brand. You can also call it, I just call it brand because it makes sense. So this is how it's split up. You have the innovators. We all know that word. We love that. They represent 2.5% of the market, pretty measly. Those people, though, will buy your product if your website is shit. Everything can be crap. They will walk through mud, broken glass to buy your stuff, probably, because you make exactly what they want. So you just get them. Then we have the early adopters, so slightly larger segment of the market. They will require a little bit more effort from you, a little bit more work. You have to be a bit more polished, but they're happy to put up with not the smoothest flow. The website can be a little bit hard to get around, but they do like what you do, and so they'll probably come and support you. So altogether, that represents 16.5% of the market. And in your first 3 years, this is awesome because you're making dosh. You're like, great, let's just keep doing what we're doing. This is amazing. But 100 minus 16.5, that 16.5% is tiny. That is a tiny amount of the market, and it's not going to last. So what happens is people don't look beyond the innovators and the early adopters because they're creaming it. But they get up to the year 3 and they hit what's called the chasm, which is an awesome marketing theory, and where you can't go past that. And that's because That's because they didn't think about the early majority. Now, the early majority is more risk averse, they're more emotive, and they've got a different attitude for what you sell compared to the innovators and early adopters. But they represent 34% of the market, which is a pretty nice figure if you're looking to scale. So, my whole thing is A, start thinking about the early majority from day one. And at least 6 months, or if you're already an established business, look at them being 6 months out. You've got to be thinking, I'm not just going for jugular, I'm not just going to sell to these people. We've got to fetch and throw out and cast out to the early majority and thinking about what their attitude is. So I was talking to someone, what was your name again? I was talking to so Chloe in the corner, and Chloe's in the hotel industry, and she works for Fable, which is a luxury hotel, and they've got 5 sites across New Zealand. And I was thinking about what you would do for the early majority, and I think the attitude there for someone that's wanting to go stay at one of your sites is class or sophistication. And so, because sophistication is one of those things where it actually doesn't end, you can always add to your levels of sophistication. You go for an older vintage, get bigger wine glasses, or you learn about the history of this place. And so, sophistication is an always on, always forever growing thing. So, something like a luxury hotel, for the early majority, would look at sophistication. We wouldn't look at things like close to a golf course or the practical things like that. We would try to say, what you want to do is enable them to score points on the social leaderboard. And that's something that you could do. So, attitude. So, marketing via attitude is something that I've been doing it from vibes. I'm a bit of a vibes guy, but now I'm trying to put theory around it so I can get past the clients. So what is attitude? Well, back to that first thing I showed you is culture affects attitude, and attitude affects behavior. So if you can impact attitude, you can impact behavior, which is shopping or purchasing. So a little case study. This is our client, Aglow. They are a SaaS company. They are 1 year old. We've been with them from day one, standing start. They do beauty membership software. So I just realized that's a countdown timer. That's awesome. So they do beauty membership software. So salons, skin clinics, what's happening now is instead of going to get your brows done, ladies, you'll know you spend much more on this than men, $450 a pop for whatever it is. Well, now you just go $20 a week or $25 a week, because research shows that women budget anyway for their beauty. So Aglow just does it for you. So that's who they are. So over the last year, we've smashed all the targets. We've smashed all the targets. We've got a cost per lead much lower than what was forecasted. And we've saved them tens of thousands on media spend. Lots. We did it through the 60-40 model. We put 60% of the budget to content creation, social media, and then the remaining 40 went into media spend. Now that's all cool. That's cool. Right, your theory works. Cool, but it's your client. But one thing that really sticks out, and this is a really cool part of it, is that we have never showed the product in an ad. Not one single ad do we show the app. 1 year in, they've just closed Series A of investment. I don't know how much it is, but I think the announcement's coming out this week. But what we did do was target attitude. So I've been to a lot of beauty expos. I used to work at Timely as a social media coordinator. That was my first job. And I've talked to so many hairdressers, business owners, skin clinic owners, beauticians. And one thing I've noticed about every single one of these business owners is that they're competitive. They're all really competitive. What they want is to be the only person in town that can do this service, or that has this machine, or that does it this good. So I thought, well, if they're competitive, how can we target that? Because we don't have much budget, and I can't even get product shots because they're too hard to get from the developers. So I just had to work with what we had. So what we did was we designed ads that basically said, this person made 120K of memberships in Melbourne. This is their face, and this is the data. Not even that pretty. But what it says was, you could be like her. She made heaps of money. I know you're competitive. And I just got off a call yesterday. Timing was amazing. We interview their customers all the time. And I said, oh, so how did you get onto Aglow? And she's in Melbourne. And she was like, oh, well, I saw one of your ads and I thought, who are these chicks making all this money? I can be like them. And I just went, that's it. That is exactly it. You are competitive. We target attitude, and that affects behavior. You become my lead. So instead of selling her a solution, here's an app. You can do this, and it's going to increase retention rate. Do all these things that revolve around percentages. That's the other thing. They don't talk percentages, they talk dollars, especially $20, $30. Just one for that industry. But we sold her an ambition. We sold her the idea that she could make more money, have guaranteed income, be the only one in town that offers memberships without showing a single product. So back to this. Culture affects attitude, and attitude affects behavior. Now, we can come in at the attitude level, by the way. As marketers, we can come in at the attitude level. Culture level, I mean, you can do it, but that's big, big, big budgets. I'll give you a little case study on how culture can change attitude. But in the 80s, you didn't have to wear you didn't have to wear a seatbelt in the 80s, right? Seatbelts weren't a thing up until the 80s, until there was a huge advertising campaign wearing seatbelts. So that advertising campaign changed the culture around seatbelts. Then it changed the attitude around car safety, and then the behavior. People buckled up. So that's how you can come in full circle. So marketing towards attitude. Get rid of archetypes, ideal customer profiles. I hate those things. I'm not saying don't do them, but when sometimes we get given a brand design guidelines and the designers have had a go at it, I'm like, oh, bro. Don't just make up a person and then base your whole business around actually your uncle, because that's what you've based this upon. You know, one person, it's not the whole thing. Throw those out, but keep them around. So what if I took that brand adoption lifecycle and I flipped it up? And so the top of funnel, now we're going digital marketing. Top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. So your top of funnel are the early majority. We know they're emotive, risk averse, harder sell. Longer, 3 to 6 month turnaround from cold to conversion. Then the middle of funnel, they're your early adopters. They like what you sell, but they need a little bit more about it. Like, they are rock climbers, but they're new, and you need to tell them all the cool things about this pack or these shoes, da da da. Whereas the bottom of funnel, they're innovators. They are Olympic rock climbers. They're going to buy your stuff no matter what. The one thing with them is they're already your customer, but they won't stick around if you don't innovate. So you need to show new products or doing new things, be seen to be doing new things to keep them around. So that's how I want you to think about it. Culture affects attitude. Attitude affects behavior. Thanks. Do I do questions as well? Does anyone have any questions? I have a very dry mouth. Oh, in the back there. Hey, brother.
Hi. Thanks for sharing. And I think it's very inspiring when you say that we should probably spend majority of budget on the brand. Yeah, and it's actually not a question, but a brainstorming. Yeah.
Let's go.
So the company I work for is Pip Park. It is a gaming studio in New Zealand. It's been 27 years, and we have a big range of genre of the games.
Yep.
So when you say that, it makes me think, how can I convince the user who play cat racing game into a zombie shooting game? Could you give me a bit of idea? Thank you.
Yeah, sometimes we try to do the impossible as well. Like, I don't know those two games, but if one is like Gran Turismo and one's like Zelda, well, those people that play those games, car racing or fantasy, people who play those games have different attitudes. So sometimes people say, oh, look, they're already on our database. They'd be a perfect candidate for this. But they're totally not. They've got a completely different attitude. One is intense speed around a track. The other is escapism. I want to go on a quest, you know? And so you have to be realistic about what you can do with portfolio and customer bases. So sometimes it's just too hard. I don't know the games, but can you describe the games to me quickly, the difference? Zombie and what?
Cat racing.
Cats, like cats?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, cat racing and zombies. So I say they're two different brands. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool. Well, we work with a promotions company, Next Gen Events, and so they are Next Gen, but they have all these sub brands underneath, which is basically what you have: different festivals, different things like that, and they're not all the same. So there's two ways you can go about it. Either you can try and grow the umbrella brand and create culture around that, which is easier because, well, it's the most cost effective because it means you don't need like 8 different social media managers or all these different tones of voices or all of these scheduling things like that or whatever. If you can grow one and then there's attachment to all your other brands, that's something I would probably look to do, is creating a culture around your portfolio, not each individual brand. Then you're going to find it easier for them to experiment because they like your taste as a whole.
Thank you.
No worries. Anyone else? Oh, we need that box.
Maybe I can help answer that question. So I used to teach at a university in the States, and the brand STEAM does exactly that. They've built a whole culture around that whole portfolio. And techie students at my university, you ask them about a game, and 9 times out of 10 it came through STEAM. So.
Yeah. Steam do RuneScape? Did they used to do RuneScape? Or they did something? I played something. I can't remember what it was, but yeah. And any like EA Sports, everyone knows. Okay, that's the parent group, but they all probably have a similar flavor. Or Eversoft or something. What's that one called? What is it? Yeah, that one. That's I just remember Tony Hawk's Pro Skater and all of that. Yeah. Any questions on the 60-40 split, or because it's scary, and I want to sort of preface that you need to give yourself at least 3 months headroom if you've got a weapon doing it, because it's at least a 3-month pull through for that to start working. 6 months if it's your first time to a year, but I guarantee you it's going to pay off. That's my time anyway. Oh, but yeah.
So, and not so much of a question, but more of just a comment. I love the 60-40 rule. I work for a tech company and we do assessments, and our lead time for some of these contracts are 5 years, or they're really long lead times. And I keep getting companies trying to say to me, do ads, you need to do ads, you need to do ads, you need to do ads. Like, the people making these decisions aren't going to go with us because of an ad.
No.
we need to build a brand behind it, the reputation behind it, so that when they do see an ad, we've got the backup behind it. And so, yeah, I really love what you're saying about building your brand behind it.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're having trouble, you know, picturing how it all works, just relate it to real life. I do it all the time. So a digital marketing funnel is the same thing as a sales process. Imagine we're humans. So what I was talking about there is it's easier to close. So if you build a brand, you're nurturing up the top of funnel, middle of funnel, makes it way easier to close when I do show you an ad where I want you to convert. And I'm like that too. I don't want to go into a meeting when you're cold and I have to work my ass off to close. I want to go in there and that's just final. You already know about me. You've checked me out. You've seen this. Then we close, we shake hands, and we have lunch. You know, and that's how we look at it anyway. Was it over there?
Yep. Oh, yeah, sweet. I work for a company and we're aiming to build like a larger presence in Australia. So New Zealand, we're quite good already. Cool. So is there an instance where that budget split would change? So for example, if you are trying to build that presence in Australia, would that be changing, getting a little bit higher towards one end?
Yeah. What's the industry?
Production automation.
And the tech or the
so
physical?
It's like engineering, so like putting, what do you call it? Like products into cases and stuff like that. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So the other thing that I like to say is, well, just get a sales team too. Sometimes you don't even need to do the marketing. Sometimes people go, oh, we need social media. We need to do all this. I'm like, why don't you just get some dog of a salesperson in there to go around Australia and just tee it up? Because that sounds like a pretty niche B2B thing, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So marketing's it's like needle in a haystack. So don't forget that sales is awesome too. Like sales is so strong. And your return rate on that, your ability to monitor, to see how many you got warm, much more transparency than if you did do it via marketing. The only reason you'd do it is if you had pretty huge budgets and you kind of already had something started, but I would just go boots on the ground and save your money. I actually do that all the time. People are like, we need digital marketing. And I'm like, oh, I'd love to take your money, but it's not actually what you need. Go see this guy or do sales. Because I won't be able to achieve what they need either. That's the thing. Like if say you gave us budget to go and build the brand over there, but you're expecting X amount of leads, I couldn't guarantee that. But if I could go and knock on that guy's door and get lunch with Jimmy from Sydney, then I could get those leads, you know? Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
The last part on that 60-40 is there's a little novelty to it. Is if you're brand new, it's even more extreme. You shouldn't. Our thing is don't spend any money on ads until you're making 20K a month. If this is startups, 20 to 50, don't spend anything on ads. Because if you can get to 20K a month organically, then you got something. But if you get to 20K by spending money, you don't know if you've got anything. But it's a good little middle ground of like, okay. And it forces you to work out your brand, your socials, your community, and everything like that. So we don't work with anyone below that because they haven't proved it to themselves. We can't scale something that hasn't got product market fit. Yeah. Cool. You tell me if my time's up. Oh yeah, no. I've been watching this gladiator thing. Cool. Well, thanks everyone. That was a real privilege. Oh no, here, one more. Oh yeah, you've been smiling the whole time. It's been great.
Yeah, just nodding along. Interestingly, I've got like a foot in both camps. So I'm an ex-creative. I shifted into media about 15 years ago. So on one hand, I kind of go, don't you touch my media money. But at the same time, I actually agree with you. I think that there definitely needs to be investment done in that brand space to really make a relevant and disruptive like cut through when you are in market. I would recommend potentially thinking about when your financial year changes over. So actually investing that brand in sort of the back half of your first financial and then putting more into the media and rolling into your second financial. So then you're actually able to give a really good, strong voice to the stuff you've created in the previous financial. And I only say that because when you do give something enough boost and reach and market, and that does cost money, billboards, all that kind of stuff, you start to rapidly get to that early, like not the early adopters, the what did you
Early
call it?
majority.
Yeah, early
Yeah.
majority quicker,
Mm.
and that is building trust and social proof a whole lot faster.
Mm.
So then it costs less, and you can invest more in that brand stuff. But yeah,
100%.
love all that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'll just slip in my last one. Basically, like I just go straight for the early majority.
Yeah.
And innovators and early adopters are collateral. Like I said, they're going to buy your stuff anyway. If you go straight for the early majority, you're going to get 35 to 45% of the market, 50% of the market straight away. Yeah, cool. Oh, I want to say on that point, we on our website I have a marketing calculator which will help you work out your 60-40 depending on your objectives, whether you want to just go stable, grow, or scale. It'll tell you how, if you put in your annual budget, it'll split it all out, tell you what to spend where. That's pretty cool. I like making that shit stuff. Cool. Thanks, guys.